Right now, the sun is 93 million miles away, and you are not thinking about it. You don't have to. It's just there, the way it has been every single day of your life, and every day of every life before you. Now imagine that in the very next instant, without warning, it simply vanishes, not explodes, not slowly dims, just gone, as if someone reached out and switched it off. Here is exactly what would happen to you moment by moment. And the order in which it would kill you is almost certainly not the order you would guess. Let me start with the first surprise, which is that for a little while you would have no idea anything had happened. Light takes time to travel. The sun is so far away that its light needs about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach us. So at the instant the sun vanishes, the sunlight already in flight just keeps coming. For 8 full minutes, the sky stays blue, the afternoon stays bright, the birds keep singing. You would be living in the light of a star that no longer exists. And here is the stranger part. Gravity also travels at the speed of light. So for those same 8 minutes, the Earth keeps orbiting the empty spot where the sun used to be, looping around a ghost, held in place by the pull of something that is already gone. Then 8 minutes and 20 seconds in, both run out at once. The sky goes dark in the middle of the day, the sun winking out like a snuffed candle, and in that same instant, the Earth's leash is cut. With nothing left to hold it in orbit, our planet stops curving and flies off in a dead straight line out into deep space at about 67,000 miles an hour, like a stone let go from a sling. In a single moment, Earth would become a rogue world, falling forever through the dark between the stars. And here is what makes that less like science fiction than it sounds. Earth would not be alone out there. Astronomers have found that our galaxy is quietly full of rogue planets, worlds with no sun at all, drifting starless through the dark. There may be billions of them, possibly more rogue planets than there are stars, each one flung loose from some solar system long ago. If our sun vanished, Earth would simply become one more, a frozen vagabond joining a vast, invisible population of homeless worlds. And it would not slip away alone either. The sun's gravity holds the entire solar system together, so the moment it cut out, every planet would lose its leash at once. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all of them peeling off into the dark on their own straight lines, the whole family scattering forever. The one small mercy is the moon. It orbits the Earth, held by Earth's gravity and not the sun's, so it would stay right beside us, a single faithful companion on a very long, very cold journey to nowhere. Now your instinct is probably that the cold comes for you next, and fast. The cold does come, but slower than you would think, and it is not what gets you first. The atmosphere and the oceans hold an enormous amount of heat. In the first week, the average surface temperature drops below freezing, but it is survivable cold, not instant death. Within a year, it falls to around -100 degrees. Over the following decades, it keeps sinking toward -400, until eventually the air itself begins to freeze and fall out of the sky as snow. But that is the slow ending, years and decades away. Picture the first few nights instead. No dawn ever comes. The temperature slides down, gently at first, then with intent. People burn whatever they can find. The power grids fail as demand spikes and the fuel runs out. Snow falls and never melts again. And above all of it, for the first time in the entire history of our species, a sky with no sun in it, and the slow, dawning understanding that there will not be another one, ever. But here is the catch, the thing that actually unravels the living world, and it has nothing to do with temperature. It is the dark. Almost every food chain on Earth begins with photosynthesis, with plants and ocean plankton turning sunlight into energy. The instant the light goes out, that stops. Everywhere, all at once. Within days, the smallest plants begin to die. Within weeks, the larger ones follow. The entire base of the food web collapses from the bottom up, while it is still, relatively speaking, warm outside. The plant-eaters starve, and then the things that eat them. The green, breathing surface of the planet, the part that took 4 billion years to build, comes apart in a matter of weeks, killed not by the freeze, but by the simple absence of light. You would very likely starve, in the cold and the dark, long before the planet ever became a true ball of ice. So that is the bad news. Now, could anyone survive at all? Here is where it gets speculative, and the honest answer is maybe, in pockets, for a while. The oceans are the key. Water holds heat beautifully, and as the surface freezes, that layer of ice acts like a blanket, sealing in the liquid water beneath. Warmed from below by the slow leak of heat from Earth's own molten interior, the deep oceans could stay liquid under their ice for thousands, maybe tens of thousands of years. And for human survivors, the playbook would be the same trick, going down and going nuclear. Deep underground, near geothermal heat, with nuclear reactors for power and artificial light to grow food in sealed farms, a small, determined remnant could hold on for a long time. A place like Iceland, sitting on a volcanic hotspot, might be one of the last good addresses on Earth. Not the species as we know it, but a flicker of it, buried, waiting out a winter with no end. But the real survivors, the ones who would barely notice the catastrophe at all, are already living in permanent darkness, and they do not need the sun one bit. At the bottom of the ocean, around volcanic hydrothermal vents, there are entire ecosystems that run on chemistry instead of light, feeding on the heat and the minerals pouring out of the earth itself. Tube worms, pale blind crabs, thick mats of bacteria, all of it thriving in the crushing black, powered by the planet's own internal fire. To them, the sun was never the source of anything. When it vanished, their world would carry on, unbothered in the deep. They might well be the last living things on Earth, outlasting every plant, every animal, and every one of us in the lightless ocean of a wandering, sunless world. So what would actually happen to you if the sun vanished? You would get 8 minutes of ordinary life, lived in the light of a dead star. Then darkness at noon, and the ground beneath you cut loose to drift out into space. And then, not a dramatic flash freeze, but something quieter and stranger, a slow starvation in a cooling dark, as the entire sunlit world you depend on falls apart from the bottom up, far faster than the ice could ever reach you. We think of the sun as warmth, but it is really the single thread the whole living surface of this planet hangs from, the one engine the green world runs on. Pull it, and the surface unravels in weeks. And yet, in the black depths, around those volcanic vents, a stubborn ghost of life would keep right on going, indifferent, proof that even a sunless Earth would not be entirely dead. The science is real. The 8 minutes, the dark coming before the cold, the food web collapsing from the bottom, the billions of rogue worlds already adrift out there. How long any pocket of life could truly hold on, that is the labeled maybe, a guess about the endurance of the deep. The sun has risen on every single day in the history of the world. And the one thing we can say for certain is that everything you have ever known is balanced, quietly, on the simple assumption that tomorrow it will rise again.